is and should be a touchdown. Here we go. Bryson Mars has got his back behind him. It is Jaquindon Jackson. Here's the snap. Bryson Barnes looking deep. He's got a man. It's caught! He's gone! Touchdown early! And good evening, everybody. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit so that... All right. Welcome, everybody, to College Football. I'm Cooper Naylor, and tonight is such a fun night because we have a lot to talk about when it comes to the world of college football. So, of course, we're going to be breaking down the Georgia Tech Florida State game from Saturday. We're also going to get into the latest edition of the SBN rankings because, okay, first of all, we wouldn't have had to do this had Florida State won. But since Florida State got beat, we had to do another poll to see where we thought Florida State ended up, if we thought Georgia Tech would get in. So, going to be a lot of interesting stuff here tonight. And then also at the end, we're going to announce who we've got, like the 3 games we got this weekend. And that's right, I said 3. So be on the lookout for that. So, of course, that's going to be coming up. Also, I am working on it, but may have a guest on tonight. So I'm just trying to... All right, so getting that all cleared up. So, of course, we're going to talk about Georgia Tech and Florida State first. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, this picture that you're seeing up in the, and I'm going to go ahead and let you just look at this for a minute. This is literally the moment that that Georgia Tech beat Florida State in Ireland. An incredible moment for them, as I'm going to try to get some stats pulled up. So, all right, we are going to pull this up real quick. All right, so the kicker, Aiden Burr, is the kicker who ended up kicking the game-winning field goal for Georgia Tech. So when you look at, when we go to the box score, and let's look at the winning team first. Really, I think that gives us a better idea of what we need to know for this game. And, of course, I'm going to give you stats first, and then after that, I will tell you really the meat and potatoes behind what I thought of the game as a whole. So, getting into it to begin with, the there we go. All right. So, some stats as we come back to me here on screen. Right here, you look at just first of all, let's look at Haynes King. Now, this Georgia Tech team is going to be a passing heavy team. So Haynes King, 11 of 16, 146 yards. That's 9.1 yard average on passes. He had a 69.7 QBR. So clearly we're seeing where this Georgia Tech team wants to go offensively, and it's not really let's throw the ball all that much. It's not really that at all. It's more just, it's going to be more run it downhill. All right. Also, you look at the run game for Georgia Tech. Jamal Haynes, 11 carries, 75 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Haynes King, 15 carries, 54 yards. Chad Alexander, 7 carries, 41 yards. Eric Singleton Jr., 1 carry, 10 yards. Malik Rutherford, 1 carry, 9 yards. Zach Pyron, 1 carry, 1 yard. So, and of course, a touchdown for Zach Pyron, who is the backup quarterback. So, you look at this Georgia Tech team. You also look at the receiving numbers. Malik Rutherford, 4 carries, 66 yards. 4 receptions, 66 yards. Chase Lane, 2 receptions, 31 yards. Eric Singleton Jr., 2 carries, 19 yards. Jamal Haynes, 2 receptions, 16 yards. Avery Boyd, 1 reception, 14 yards. And then, so, really, that's Georgia Tech's side on the stats. You look at Florida State. DJ Uiagalelei, 19 of 27, 193, 7.1 yard average, 78.8 QBR. Then you got Roydell Williams, 12 carries, 38 yards, a touchdown. Lawrence Tuafili, 8 carries, 32 yards, 1 touchdown. Jalen Lucas, 2 carries, 13 yards. Keziah Holmes, 2 carries, 8 yards. DJ Uiagalelei, 6 carries, 7 yards. And then Cam Davis, 1 carry for 0 yards. And then you look at the receiving numbers. Ja'Kai Douglas, 4 for 55. Malik Benson, 4 for 39. Roydell Williams, 3 for 31. Lawrence Tuafili, 3 for 25. Kendrick Poitier, 1 for 15. Kyle Morlock, 1 for 12. Jalen Brown, 2 for 11. And then Jalen Lucas was 1 for 5 yards. So, first of all, Georgia Tech, as I said, they are a run-heavy team. And that's what they did. They had their way all game because they just ran the ball down the throat of Florida State. And there was just no stopping. That was the main thing I saw, was that Florida State's defense just didn't seem like they had any answer for anything that Georgia Tech was doing. Now, if you remember watching the game, you remember me talking about just the idea that they needed to open the field up by throwing the ball more, both teams. That was Georgia Tech, because they got a couple of passes down the field, open the field up, and then Georgia Tech just from there was able to run the ball easily down the throat of that Florida State defense, get another touchdown, and what ultimately was helping them get closer to a win. So 24-21 is the score. What are the issues? And I'll say this. Florida State, when you get beat 190-98 rushing the ball, that ain't going to cut it. Do you expect to win when you only have 98 rush yards, when you're supposed to be a team that's supposed to be a great ground game? They were going to see, here's the thing. DJU is not good enough to win a game for Florida State. Now, here's the problem also with that, is that DJ, he just throws short passes. There's nothing down the field. And if he does, it's a terrible pass. You saw that when there was that one play, I believe it was Ja'Kai Douglas that was wide open. DJ throws it, and it's short. It was a short pass. Didn't have a chance for Ja'Kai Douglas to come back and make the catch. So it's plays like that DJ has got to get better if you're a Florida State fan. But there's not a lot of hope for that because he hasn't been better. And I mean, okay, for instance, go back and look at his days at Clemson. He got benched for Cade Klubnik at Clemson. And Cade Klubnik is a decent quarterback, not incredible, but that's the thing. DJ got benched. He went to Oregon State. And I mean, it was Oregon State. In the games that really mattered, he didn't really play that great either. So DJ Uiagalelei is this guy that has made his way to teams by the transfer portal, trying to get second, third, and fourth chances, and he's not good enough. I mean, it's just that simple, folks. He's not good enough to be playing at Florida State as a starting quarterback. Here's the thing. If Florida State really thought they had a chance in the playoff, then how come their second-string quarterback transferred out, and then your third string, which was Brock Glenn, why exactly is he still the third string? Wouldn't he be the first string if you thought he was good enough to win a playoff game for you? Folks, here's the reality of what we're watching right now. Florida State got humbled, I think. All these Florida State fans, and even, okay, I don't watch game day much, but I gotta say, I watched a little bit just to see Nick Saban's debut. Kirk Herbstreit was getting booed because he had an opinion on who he thought should be in the playoff. So what that he thought Alabama should be in? Florida State, if we're all going to be honest, had they got in the playoff, they would have done nothing. And you know what? They should, if they really thought they should have been in, they should have came and played in that bowl game. But we'll never know because all those players decided to sit out because we got left out. Da, 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 da. I'm telling you, folks, these people are stupid, and Florida State got humbled. And now, because of how this game went, there is a legitimate argument to be made that if they don't win the ACC, they will not be playing in the college football playoff. This is not a good start to a team that, one, was supposed to be told that the defensive line was supposed to be good. That didn't seem to be accurate. And two, where was that running game that was supposed to be so great for Florida State? Where was it? You had your first drive look good, but other than that, where was the great run game for Florida State? When you carry the ball for 98 total yards in the game, that's not cutting it if you're supposed to be one of the best. You got a transfer, Roydell Williams from Alabama, who's a decent running back. You got Lawrence Tuafili, who's already on the roster from last year, who is supposed to be a really good running back. Only 98 yards? Explain that to me, Florida State. Explain that to me. Well, folks, that's just my opinions right now on the Georgia Tech-Florida State game. Overall, Georgia Tech just came and kicked Florida State's butt in this game. And it's not like the better team lost. The better team won this game, and that's Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech was the better team in this game. And really, throughout the college football season, we may see Georgia Tech be the better team in the long run. Now, it's just one game. But, folks, for Florida State, it does feel different than just saying it's more than just one game. Although, there's still a chance they could make it to the playoff. They could make a run. But it's going to take a lot. They're going to be playing Monday night against Boston College. And I got to tell you this right now. Even the games where you think, oh, it's an easy win, just hand us the 1-1 record already. Not so fast, my friends, as Lee Corso would say, because Florida State has still got to go out there and play the game, just like Boston College is going to do Monday night. You still got to go step on that football field and play 60 minutes of football. And that offense you saw from Florida State, that defense you saw from Florida State, they better get that cleaned up, because if they don't have that cleaned up, Boston College could easily walk in to Tallahassee and steal a win. That's all I got to say about this. Because I'll say this. As someone who also said Alabama should be in last season, and seeing just how much these Florida State fans wanted to talk, it's kind of nice seeing them lose. Not going to lie. Even though I'm supposed to be unbiased here, it's kind of nice seeing Florida State lose after all the crap they talked all off season long. So thank you, Florida State fans. Thank you for giving us a Saturday where everybody that's not a Florida State fan really enjoyed their Saturday watching Aiden Burr kick a 44-yard field goal right in your face. So thank you. So now, let's turn our attentions to the SBN poll, the second edition, which this, of course, Georgia Tech, Florida State, influenced the reasoning behind having to put another poll out there. So, folks, here's the reveal of Week 1's poll. All right, so I'm going to go with full screen here and let you just get a full look at this. So you got Georgia. So the top 10 is unchanged, completely unchanged. There was no reason to move them at all. So that you can just kind of skim over. So 11 through 25 is where we have a little bit of a shakeup. So you see Tennessee, Ole Miss, LSU, Clemson, Texas A&M, USC, Auburn, and Kansas all moved up one spot in the rankings. So that is how they are currently. So then Utah, Louisville, Kansas State, Arizona, and Miami all moved up 2 spots. And then you see at the bottom, Georgia Tech is now 24, and Florida State is 25. Florida State, we did not believe that they should have been completely dropped out of the rankings. We moved them all the way down to the last possible spot in the poll because, if we're being honest, this is really again, just the way that game went, Georgia Tech was the better team. So we got them ahead of Florida State in this week's poll. So, I mean, you got an 0-1 record. You still ranked going into the first official week of the season. You got to feel lucky if you're a Florida State fan, I'm going to say, because, I mean, we would have just left them out. But because Florida State still has a lot of upside, if they get it together, 25 is where we have them right now. And Georgia Tech at 24 seems like a good spot. I'm just going to be honest with you. So that is how our voters voted. And so that is the rankings. So now, let's take a short commercial break. And we are going to return in just a moment. So enjoy this commercial. All right, we are back, and so right now I'm going to go ahead and we got our guest joining us here tonight. You saw him on Saturday, but Colton is back. Now, basically what we wanted to do with him is let him give his take on the games that are coming up on tomorrow night and Friday night. So that is the North Carolina, Minnesota. You got TCU, Stanford, and you got Colorado, North Dakota State. So first of all, Colton, welcome back. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Again, I forgot to turn your microphone on, and now I got you.
Okay, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Good. All right. So, first of all, I want to get your take on Just want to first get your take on the North Carolina Minnesota game. That's tomorrow night, I believe 7 o'clock. So, what do you think about that game?
I mean, it'll be entertaining, but North Carolina should win by quite a bit. But it'll be a good game, I guess. It's not really one that I'm really looking forward to, but like it'll be entertaining. It'll be good.
Okay. Yeah, so North Carolina, Minnesota, that's tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. That's actually going to be on Fox because Minnesota hosts the game. So Fox will get that game. Secondly, TCU and Stanford. What do you think about it?
Honestly, it's about the same as the other one. I feel like if all goes well, TCU should easily win that. But it'll probably be a better game. It has more potential to be a blowout, but it'll be a decent game. TCU is usually pretty good, so it'll be a good game.
And then final one, Colorado, North Dakota State. Even though North Dakota State is an FCS school, they have been known for being one of the best FCS schools. They've won a bunch of national championships in the FCS. And so, what do you think?
I mean, it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. If Colorado loses, it'll be pretty funny. But I don't see that happening. I think Colorado's going to win.
Okay. Well, now we got a little bit of time. I just wanted to kind of ask you, Georgia Tech, Florida State, just, in short, what did you think about the game?
It was honestly disappointing because I went into it thinking it's going to be like very, good game. It just felt very sloppy. You could tell it was first game of the year because it was just mediocre to watch, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, there were moments where it's really entertaining, but I mean, but the whole fourth quarter, it was kind of, Georgia Tech's going to win this. More or less, just kind of more shocking than it was a good game.
All right. Now, what I want to do with you, because we're here at the end of the show, I wanted to get your reaction to our triple header of games that we're going to have this weekend. So, and of course, college football wraparound, you don't want to miss it. Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Don't want to miss it. We're going to, or not 11 a.m. Crap. I mean, 10 a.m. 11 a.m. is when kickoffs begin. So, That's on me. A little bit of an error. Either way, so first we're gonna start out with Saturday's game. You want to do it?
Okay.
So we're gonna be doing Notre Dame and Texas A&M Saturday night, 6:30, College Station, and in prime time with Notre Dame in town.
Two teams that are way overrated.
So you think they're overrated?
2 8-4 teams.
Okay.
They'll be 8-4.
Also, another thing, if you're a Notre Dame fan, do keep in mind, even if you're undefeated, it still does not matter. Highest you will be as far as playoff seeding will be number 5.
Which is pretty stupid.
I would agree with that just because
if an FCS school, or not FCS, if a group of 5 school, right?
Yeah.
If a group of 5 school can get in, probably can be 12 seed either way. But if a group of 5 school can get in pretty much automatically, Notre Dame should automatically, the best independent team should automatically have a bye if that's how they're doing it.
Right. Yeah. Of course, both me and Colton are of the. We agree that the way they set this up is just terrible.
It had potential, but if they're gonna do it the way they're doing it, they should have more teams. It should be 16 teams and have 2 sides.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Saturday, 6:30, Notre Dame, Texas A&M. We'll be here for it, and then Sunday night, you got LSU and USC. They're going to be playing in Vegas, which I guess in a way would be like a de facto home game for USC since it's so close. But what do you think about this one?
This will be a good game. Actually, this is really 2 teams that are in very similar situations. Both of them lost their Heisman quarterbacks to the pros. And honestly, both teams will be carried by their receivers and
Yeah.
their corners. Like they don't really have I guess Garrett. Is it Garrett Nussmeier or Grant?
Garrett Nussmeier.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I really don't know enough about USC's quarterback, but honestly, just from what I know, I think LSU should win this.
Okay.
But pretty good game.
And then our final game of the weekend, we're going to have a second straight week of Florida State football, but this time we got Boston College. So I don't know if you heard my assessment of Florida State, but I've already said that I think that if they're not careful, Boston College could beat them. What's your thoughts?
I don't see them start off 0-2, but if they do, it'd be pretty funny. But if I had to predict it, I'd say Florida State like 24-7, honestly.
Okay.
But I mean, you're right. If Florida State isn't careful, they could start off 0-2, which would be pretty bad for them,
Yeah,
especially in conference games. You can't lose conference games, especially with now you literally get a bye from winning conference games. So
yeah. Well, that is the schedule for the for this weekend. Gonna have a full weekend, just like we did last year. Now, one thing we did keep in mind, we did last year for the opening week. We had Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. This is literally 3 straight nights, 3 straight games, all at 6:30 p.m. So this is gonna be fun.
Yep.
Well, Colton, we got your picks for those 3 games. We're gonna see how they fare, and so this edition of College Football Wraparound for on a Wednesday night. I mean, 27 minutes kind of went by real quick, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But that's pretty much it. Thanks, Colton, for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so we're going to see y'all later. Good night, everybody.